Yeah, like you say, hit me with the intro music.
Okay, hit me with the intro music. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Beard and a Half Movie Reviews. I'm Garrett.
And I'm Tyler.
And today marks episode... Forgot to look it up again. What episode are we on?
I actually had it pulled up and ready to go for you, believe it or not. We are on episode 39.
39 of our podcast. And man, let me tell you, as you can see already, new microphone. Yeah, we got some complaints about the audio. Go figure.
Just a close-up on me. Yeah, fuck you guys. All right.
Okay. It's constructive criticism that we needed. And yeah, it's exciting. I'm happy to be back. I'm actually really excited about today. We got new lighting on me too, which is kind of...
I'm not excited for today.
I don't know if I like the lighting or not, but we'll see. It is what it is. I am excited about the new microphone though. Hopefully I sound crisper for you people out there. I am aware there's some shadows in my face. Get over it. This is a rush job on the lighting because we took so long to set up the new microphone and everything, and we had to go to the store, and we're just strapped for time today, but we're going to do the podcast, obviously.
I couldn't have said it better myself, honestly.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It sucks because I can't look at you because I have to stare at my microphone. So I'm just looking at you through the fucking camera. Maybe that's how we...
A little bit. There we go. That looks a little bit better.
Maybe that's how we need to look at each other. Just look in the camera.
Just look in the camera.
So you look at me.
I most of the time try to look at my camera though, so people can see me.
Yeah, I don't look at my camera as
also,
often.
I'd like to pause really quick. Last week, my mom watched our episode of No Way Home and everything.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, Garrett, there was a part in the podcast where you lifted your hat and I could see your hair. And she laughed. I told my brother this. She thought it was funny.
Well, it's because you have a big ass forehead.
Because she thinks I have no hair. Go to the Garrett mic. Go to the Garrett mic.
This is the Garrett
Bitches,
cam.
I have hair. Okay, I just have a terrible hairline. Get over it.
It's genetics.
I mean, honestly,
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, it's my mom's side of the family, so thanks for that, is what it is. Regardless, yeah, excited to be back, though. I'm just excited about today because we get to test out our new microphone and everything. My new microphones specifically, but
yeah, mine's not new. I just have a cocksock on my microphone now.
It's a good thing, though. Mine has one, too. It just, I'm not going to touch it because everybody will probably hear it. It'll probably ear rape them.
If you take yours off, go ahead, Garrett. Go ahead. Take it off.
Me too? I feel like it's going to ear rape the headphone users.
It's not. Nice little bit.
Slid right off there.
Just so tiny underneath.
It is. It really is. I don't know if we can pick that up on the camera. Yeah. I'm going to put it on. Make it look bigger. Story of my life.
sometimes that's just what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do. Today's episode is brought to you by my big ass forehead. No. Brought to you by nobody, of course.
Brought to you by his big ass forehead.
Always and forever. Today we did The Matrix Resurrections. And let me tell you, it's kind of a theme of the Matrix movies to be kind of confused.
So I'm so
confused right now.
I'm gonna just call an audible real quick. A good zoom in on me. Garrett, we'll pan to you real quick so they can get your reaction. I am so fucking tired of hearing about the Matrix. So for the last, we'll let everybody see. So for the last, say 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but
conspiracy theories about the Matrix.
Conspiracy theories about the Matrix and the One and all this bullshit. I watched the Matrix movies when I was a kid. That's the last time I watched them. I've not watched them as an adult. I have not. Nothing. I mean, if they're on TV, yeah, I'll watch them, of course. They're the Matrix, but I do not go out of my way to just, you know what, I'm feeling the Matrix Reloaded. You know? So for the last 2 weeks, I've heard conspiracy theories, and you're like, oh, maybe it's just a generalized conversation. It's fucking not. It's a 45-minute argument.
We've had a lot of arguments about
between a bunch of people, and it's unnecessary.
In my defense, I mean, my conspiracy theory was pretty sound until today, and then after watching this movie, now I'm like, I don't even know what to think anymore.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Your conspiracy theories are fucking blown out.
Yeah, they're gone now because of this fucking movie. It is what it is. I'm so confused, but we'll get into it.
We'll get
First of
into it.
all, let's go over the cast list.
Well, let's talk about it. You can watch this movie in theaters,
Oh, this is true.
or you
Yes.
can watch it on HBO Max.
We watched it on HBO Max.
I did.
did too.
It came out yesterday or today? Oh, it came out on the 22nd.
Yeah, so yesterday at the time of this recording.
Yeah, so it came out December 22nd, 2021. It is R-rated, and it has a
course.
runtime of 2 hours and 28 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It was directed by
Lana Wachowski,
and
which is just one of the Wachowski sisters that made the original trilogy.
as brothers,
Feel like, yes, this is before they had
their transition.
their transition, exactly. I feel like it would have been, I mean, I'm not trying to spoil my outlook on the movie or anything. I feel like it would have been better if both the sisters were in on this movie. And I'm sure maybe, Lana, I forget her other sister's name.
I don't know it.
Because I always just looked at them as the Wachowski,
Yeah, the Wachowskis.
Wachowskis. Yeah, we'll just say that. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it would have been better if it was both of them, but it is what it is. Still like the movie. We'll get into it. Cast list. We got Keanu Reeves coming back as Neo, obviously. Super excited. Even though he looked like John Wick. Carrie Ann Moss coming back as Trinity.
What a MILF.
That was cool. And then from here, it kind of changes up a little bit. I think there was only 2 other characters from the original trilogy that were in this. We had Jada Pinkett Smith come back as Niobe. And then we had, scroll down because I can't remember the guys. Oh, there he is. Lambert Wilson come back as the, how do you pronounce that?
I'm going to go with Merovingian.
Merovingian. I don't know. He was that weird guy that liked to take bathroom breaks. If you saw the second one, you get that. Scroll back up. From there, those are the only reoccurring actors from the original trilogy that came back. We have Yaha Abdul Mateen II.
Does
that sound right?
That sounds good to me.
As Morpheus, we got Jonathan Groff, as Smith, Jessica Henwick as Bugs, Neil Patrick Harris as the analyst, Priyanka Chopra Jonas as Sati. Sati? We're going to go as that.
Sativa.
And then Christina Ricci was in this movie too. Gwen De Vera?
That's Gwen Stefani. She's a singer.
De Vera. Are we going to go with that?
Yeah.
From there, the cast list kind of people I'm not super familiar with.
Basically, the rest of the people are just kind of there.
Supporting characters, but
supporting
not
characters.
They weren't
They weren't well recognized by us, apparently.
I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, it was what it was.
It definitely was what it was.
Yeah. Why were you just looking at your phone? What's wrong?
I was just making sure I muted it, which I did not.
I did mute mine. Getting into the movie, just realized I never even gave it a rating, but I already know my rating.
Better be like a 4.
Okay, we'll get into that. Yeah, once again, sorry, it's kind of a rush setup for today's podcast, and we're kind of limited on time. Tyler, what did you think about this movie, in all honesty? You didn't know what to think, did you?
It was good.
Did you understand the purpose of this movie?
Yes and no.
Not I.
Basically, as far as I'm aware, for like the first 30 minutes of the movie, Neo thinks he is living a normal life, and then it turns out he's a game designer that created the Matrix. And I was like, this doesn't make sense because a game publisher released a real engine video game of a real life Matrix, and everything looked so realistic in the game, and you could do literally whatever. So about 10 minutes into the movie, I was like, none of this is real at all. Not a single thing is real.
Well, obviously it wasn't.
And then I was like, you know what? I bet he's inside of the Matrix right now. And then sure as shit, some stuff happens.
I think it's cool. At first, I was kind of wondering why they set it up like he's a video game designer that made the Matrix, and I was like, what is this about and everything. And then later it kind of talked about how they hit him, the machines hit him in the Matrix and everything like that, him and Trinity.
Yeah.
And then I guess it kind of made more sense. I kind of read something else because I had to look up this. This is the kind of movie you got to look it up as soon as you get done watching it. And you're like, what the fuck did I just see? I have so many unanswered questions and everything. I do that a lot with movies, specifically The Matrix, because it does get very, very confusing. Basically, from what I saw or read, who knows if it's true or not exactly, the whole reason they had him as this video game designer that made The Matrix was almost like him hiding in plain sight. Because
Mhm.
it's like, let me go tell somebody, oh yeah, The Matrix, and they'll be like, oh yeah, the game, and then you'll be like, no, it's real, and they'd be like, no, it's just a game. It's kind of a way of them in this new Matrix being able to, like I said, put it in people's faces so they get it, but they're obviously not going to make the connect. They're going to be like, oh yeah, that's a game, that's not real. And yeah, just kind of a little bit different. I thought that was kind of cool.
I
Also kind of liked how it poked fun at itself. They were
uh,
talking about how they wanted to make another one, and it
yeah.
was Warner Brothers was going to do it whether they wanted to do it or not. And I was kind of like, that's funny. And they're talking about reboots and how like
They
people
wanted to
love the
make like
nostalgia.
they wanted to make another game to the trilogy.
Yes,
And I was just like, this is exactly what they're doing currently.
pretty much. And
It,
that's what I kind of did like how they poked fun at themselves about that.
yeah, I'm not jumping in. One
Hmm.
thing though that I didn't like,
Hmm.
and this isn't, it's not in my dislikes or anything like that. I don't like how they tried to make him psychotic, like he was crazy,
Well,
because he was seeing stuff like that reminded him of the Matrix and things like that, and he would
yeah.
have these outbursts,
Hmm.
and then they would correctively try and fix it. So he was just, everyone thought he was crazy, and that was it.
Yeah, it was kind of them
You know?
keeping him in the Matrix, like
No, I
and
know.
he's constantly taking the blue pills and everything else. Kind of the thing I read about this that kind of explained it for me was, first of all, this is a new iteration of the Matrix. This is not the last Matrix we saw in the third one. What was the Revelations? Yeah, the Matrix Revelation, I think.
Actually, it was Return of the King.
No. Anyways,
Oh,
so what he did in the third one was, remember, he died, he sacrificed himself, they restarted the Matrix, everything was fine and everybody was happy or whatever. And this movie takes place, what did it say, 60 years after that?
60
So
years,
there's
yeah.
been a good girth of time that's happened and everything.
Ooh,
Um
good girth.
the the whole thing was like, okay, so obviously the machines used us for energy. They were trying to do
Right.
solar, we fucked up the
Solar panels.
atmosphere and everything like that. They weren't getting enough energy. They, like I would say, enslaved us and were using us for this. They
Right.
realized after, the third one, they were like, we're not getting enough energy. So then Neil Patrick Harris's character, the analyst or whatever, he comes in and he creates a matrix that almost like people want to live in. And it's strictly because, and I read this like kind of explanation of it. So if you have like a society, or like if the government came and told us like, okay, there's free housing for everybody.
Yep.
Everybody gets free housing. Nobody has to do. A lot of people would quit their jobs. A lot of people would turn into slums, and a lot of people probably wouldn't be that happy actually, just kind of being bored and everything like that. Kind of what they were realizing about
It's
the
kind of like
Matrix was
COVID.
everybody got what they wanted and stuff like that. So they made this new Matrix where it was almost like people didn't want to be content. They almost wanted to be uncontent. And by doing so, they created more energy. And this was, did my mic just
Swing away.
wing away, Meryl? Oh, that's because my mic is literally about to come off the stage. Kidding me.
Let's go to Garrett Cam. I'll give you guys
Okay,
the
I'm going to
narrative.
talk while I'm doing this.
Do it.
So basically, they created a matrix that was, let's just say, imperfect, for lack of better words, where people basically had like trials and tribulations of normal life, like, stressful things and everything else, thus giving the machines more energy, but also people being more content because, if everything was perfect, then life would be kind of boring, kind of that sort of thing. So that's where like Neo and Trinity came in, that they kind of separated them because every time they brought them too close, it would fucking fuck up the Matrix. So they had to keep them like arms length apart, the perfect thing. And therefore, them doing all this, everybody that's in the Matrix was making more energy than the machines have ever had before. Therefore, they're more powerful than they've ever been. This all confused the living shit out of me throughout the whole movie. I was so confused. Me personally, I think the first half of the movie, pretty good. I'm gonna say 3 parts of this movie. The first part of the movie, pretty good. Second part, starting to lose me, still okay. By the third part of the movie, I was kind of like, I don't know if I like this or not, you know? There was a lot of, there wasn't a lot of kung fu in this movie. I put that on my dislike.
I mean, there was a little bit of kung fu in this movie.
There needed to be a lot. There was always kung fu in the original ones. And I did like that they brought back Smith. And then you think you're going to get this really big climactic battle between Smith and Neo. And it kind of just led to Smith kicking Neo's ass. Like a lot more than usual. And then he kind of just like force pushed him. He force pushed a lot of stuff. By the end of the movie, he was just blocking bullets left and right. He wasn't really even fighting. He was just blocking bullets, blocking missiles and everything else. I ain't really like that. I do feel like this is the kind of movie where I have to watch it multiple times, kind of like the original Matrix. I felt like I had to watch it probably 2 to 3 times to really appreciate it. And even then, I feel like that goes for the trilogy. Like, people appreciated it more over time than when it very first came out.
Yeah.
The first one was amazing, obviously. But from there, it kind of, the cool thing about those movies was it made people think, you know? And this one, I feel like just,
oh, I'm fucking confused as shit still.
didn't really do that. That's why I kind of left the movie like, what was the purpose of this movie? Like, in all reality.
Yeah, I get that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I get that.
And yeah, that's just kind of my outlook on the movie. I don't know how much I liked it. Like I said, maybe I need to watch it another 2 or 3 times to really get a good decision on it. But
you know what? For everybody listening right now, just pause this, watch The Matrix Resurrections probably about 8 times, then come back in and check on us. All right, we'll be okay. I'll wait for you.
Yeah, we'll wait right here. Also, I never even said, if you're just listening to this on iTunes, Google Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to, and you want to see us, head on over to our YouTube page, Beard and a Half Movie Reviews with an S, and you can watch this.
You can also find us on our Pornhub channel, Beard and a Bro Movie Reviews.
Beard and a Bro. Whoa, bro.
Yo, bro, what's up?
Don't like that.
I didn't either. The moment I said it, I was like, I regret
I'm not doing that.
Regret even opening my mouth.
Anyways, I'm gonna jump into my likes.
Go for it, man.
You know what? No, I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna do my dislikes first.
No, that's not how this works.
All right, I'm gonna do my likes first.
No, go ahead. Do your dislikes. This is end of the year, last episode of the podcast for the year.
Oh, it is.
You know?
No, I didn't really think about that.
Merry Chrysler.
Probably Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
A lot of people were probably expecting us to do a Christmas movie.
It's
You're wrong.
I'll tell you what. If this does well, yeah, maybe. I might just sit down and do a Christmas movie for us. I mean, you'll have your mic. Maybe we can.
Maybe.
Who knows?
See. I don't know.
Maybe.
Anyways, dislikes. The machines that look like animals.
Do you expect me to chime in on this one or no?
I just didn't know what to think about that.
Right.
So apparently,
I'm just gonna come in
because
with
of
this.
the events of the.
They all look like fucking giant robot gnats in every other movie. So like, what do you?
No, like the original machines had like all the tentacles and everything.
It looked like a fucking gnat. Do I need to pull up a picture of a gnat?
Like a gnat, maybe like an octopus, if anything, because all the legs.
What?
They had like a head, and then they had a bunch of like arms that would come up and kind of like.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah.
It's like a yeah.
To me, so this is something they explained that was like part of the good thing about what happened at the end of the third one was like they are able now to coincide with certain machines and stuff like that, and they were even able to take like, I don't want to say like programs, I don't know what you call them, like AIs from the Matrix and implement them in real life through like that weird
Oh, the
shit.
little kinetic ball bullshit.
Yeah, that was kind of. I didn't
threw
really.
me off.
And it was cool, but different. But the actual machines that they were like friends with, like on their ship, I can't remember the name of their new ship and everything.
Oh yeah.
I know the original one was like the Nebuchadnezzar or whatever, but I don't know this new one that they had. Anyways,
Oh, like from Scrooge.
she had like this big machine, and it just to me they just look. And then that one girl, she had like the flying one.
Yeah, it looked like
It looked like a Pokemon to me.
No, it was
or like a flying stingray.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looked like an evolution of like what happens after like Steve Irwin died. All of the fucking stingrays are like, we worship this one, and even after they just became extinct, robot stingrays.
Maybe that's what happened. We don't know.
You just have Steve Irwin. All right, now see, we've got this metal stingray here. I'm gonna go take a closer look at it.
Dies immediately. I don't know. I didn't like the way they looked. I didn't like how they kind of looked like animals. But that's just...
I think they were just trying to add a touch of humanity, despite the fact that they're robots. You know, something more friendly than a giant fucking floating octopus gnat.
I guess.
I mean, I wouldn't want
change the names of them.
I wouldn't want a Goodyear blimp with tentacles just trying to strike up a conversation and help me out. You know. No, definitely I wouldn't.
Yeah, probably not. Something else I didn't like. Not enough kung fu. I talked about this earlier. This movie had very little, in all honesty. You see a scene that was kind of familiar, the first one with Morpheus and Neo, kind of in that one setting of like a dojo. Let's call it a dojo because I don't really know what else to call it.
But just simplify it and call it a doge.
Doge. They get into a fight, and once again, it was a lot of Neo getting his ass kicked until he kind of force pushed him away. And I was like, damn, son. Then later, we get into this scene where you have, what did they call exiles?
Yeah, they called them exiles.
So it's people from the last Matrix that were still stuck around that wanted the old Matrix back. They wanted everything to be nice and what they wanted all the time and everything like that. Anyways, these people were really powerful, apparently. And there was like a kung fu fighting and stuff like that. But I didn't feel like Neo really did too much. Like, it kind of showed the other characters fighting and like Morpheus fighting. And he was kind of in the background, just kicking ass. But I was kind of like, no, go to him. I want to see him. He's the one. Let's be honest, you know?
Morpheus got his fucking salad tossed in all of the fight scenes.
He did. No, I mean, he was kicking ass in the dojo thing until the end. But
the dojo, yeah.
He started with a lot of promise every time, and then...
But like,
changed.
When the exiles came back, dude, he got his fucking beans tossed, his salad tossed. He got mixed up in a blender real fucking quick.
Definitely, I feel like, yeah, there was a lot of peeps. Jessica Henwick's character was, I think, one of the best characters in this movie, and she's not even the main character.
Is that the blue-haired woman?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That's, she was in Iron Fist.
She an Iron Fist man.
Yeah. I don't know, and just the way they shot the fight scenes, action scenes, whatever you want to call them, so much different from the original one. We had a lot of camera cuts. We've talked about this in previous podcasts, where the camera cuts to a different angle every punch, you know, and stuff like that.
So
and in the original trilogy, you didn't really have that. They had a lot of one take action shots.
So
what I wanted.
My only guess for that is, since because he does his own stunts now, getting a little older, you know, maybe he couldn't do that. I refuse
to believe that.
So maybe...
Have you seen John Wick?
No, I've not.
None of them?
Not a single one. When someone describes a movie to me and they're like, it's about Keanu Reeves and his dog dies and his wife gave him that dog and he kills a bunch of dudes, that movie doesn't sound appealing to me. Granted, we did Keanu, a movie literally about that same exact thing.
Well,
but it was...
wife left him.
But it was a comedy. So, but to answer your question, no, I've never actually sat down and watched.
Well, when the new one comes out, you're gonna have to watch all the old ones, and we're gonna do the new one.
No,
yes,
you know what? Tell you what,
I promise you,
Harry Potter.
You will love them.
20-year anniversary comes out on January 1st, you watch all 8 Harry Potter movies.
Not doing that.
There's your
That's
answer.
different. That's 8 movies compared to 3.
Doesn't matter.
And I know I'm not going to like all of them.
I'm not going to like any of the John Wick movies.
You will if you watch them. But regardless, what I'm saying is I know he can do a lot of cool things. And I don't know if they were scared that they didn't want him to look like, John Wick. I mean, he kind of did though with his hair and beard, but whatever, it is what it is. I'm just saying the action scenes were not up to par what I was expecting from this movie. And then you get into this whole fight with him and Smith, and it was a lot of him getting his ass kicked.
Just go to the Tyler cam and jump in for a second. So in theory, this movie 60 years apart from the other one.
Yeah.
So I mean, he has also lived a lie for who knows? Well, 60 years.
No, not that long. They said it wasn't that long, and somehow because he did die at the end of the third one, the machines were able to.
Yeah, because you watched him. They showed a scene where they were
putting him back together.
They had his chest open. They were making a man witch out of that boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why I said that. Anyways, so what I'm saying is maybe him being trapped inside his own reality and being kind of, I want to say conditioned is the right word, because he was conditioned. He was conditioned to think that the Matrix didn't exist. He didn't have it. Just like the dude didn't want to take the red pill. He didn't want to fight anybody. Dude, he was a coward. That bathroom scene, dude.
Because
straight up pussy.
Like you said, he was conditioned to think like that was, that's kind of why I thought it was kind of cool that they added that the Matrix was a game, because for him and everybody else, it kind of explained why, that wasn't real. This was a game. And they kind of gave him a reason to think like none of that's real. Although you may think it is, it's not. It's a game, kind of like I said, hiding it in plain sight. But I understand he had a hard time maybe getting back into those, shoes that he so very well filled in the first 3 movies.
He did.
But I think that they definitely just could have done a lot better and added a lot more kung fu fighting. And by the third part of the movie, maybe not had him just stop bullets left and right and shit like that. That kind of was like, do more, but I don't know. Last thing I didn't like, and this is more of this is what really threw me off. Okay. I don't understand it. Are Trinity and Neo the one now? Because by the end of the movie, they've now told the analyst they're going to change the Matrix how they see fit.
Yep.
And there's nothing he can really do about it. And then they both can fly now.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, what?
Yeah, I don't know.
This is so strange for me now. But I don't know.
I feel like
they kind of added that she could fly just to make us, kind of like, oh my.
It reminded me of Mary Poppins, but also at the same time, it reminded me of, was it the second Guardians of the Galaxy? Whenever Yondu is like, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Yeah.
Because Trinity is just flying, and then Neo is just hanging off of her like a little.
At first, yeah.
Yeah, that's
like I said, he kind of had to find his bearings. By the end of it, he was flying.
It reminded me of Mary Poppins, and it was a little silly.
A little bit. It was a little weird.
Why not do like Aladdin style and he mount her?
It wasn't even the fact that they could both fly. It just really made it seem like they both were the one now. And I don't know if I was really on board with that.
Ladies and gentlemen,
not the
like
fact
I said
that
at
I
the
think the
beginning of
one
the podcast, 45 minutes of conversation of the one. So anyways, I'm going to just go ahead and go to Tyler Cam and tell you guys my dislikes.
Okay. I mean, that was it. That was the last one for me.
No, but I knew you would go on if I just had to cut that umbilical cord there. I'm not doing this for like the 8th.
Okay.
Oh, let's pay it over to the Garrett kid.
It's okay. Basically, what he's talking about is I read a lot of theories online that Neo was never the one.
Is there any rope
Agent
in here?
Smith was, and let me tell you, I had a pretty hard case about how Agent Smith was the one. Now, I have no idea. This movie threw me for a loop. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
Talking. Keep talking. All right.
We're always knifed up on beer and a half movie reviews.
Stay strapped to get clapped, folks.
Anyways,
going through my dislikes.
hit me with them.
Keanu Reeves looks like the same Keanu Reeves I've seen in every movie in the last decade.
In like the last 10 years. Yeah.
That's what a decade.
That's why I said he looked like
it's
John Wick. But
so shockingly, I did not like the kung fu scene at all in the Doge.
In the Doge, yeah.
Because it wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough.
So
only towards the end he kind of started fighting back.
So there's two parts to that dislike though, and it's kind of funny. I don't like how every time they went into the Matrix and you see Morpheus, he looks like a 70s pimp. Go ahead.
That's one thing that I did like was this new actor. I already forgot his name. That was playing Morpheus. It wasn't like he was trying to play the old Morpheus. He is a new Morpheus that Neo created. And he's a mix between Morpheus and Smith. So he's kind of crazy, you know?
I liked it, but I didn't like
different.
He stands out so fucking much, but I like it.
Yeah.
I just didn't like what he wore in the Doge scene. He was very
sexy.
Yeah, it was sexy.
I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. It was very sexy.
You're not wrong. That's why I was.
It's the sexy Morpheus.
It was sexy Morpheus. I also didn't like Metal Ball Morpheus. What I call it. That was
weird.
Basically, some of the people in the Matrix can live outside of the Matrix, just like
programs, if you want to call them AIs in the Matrix.
They're like little BBs or ball bearings that they turn into, and they can control that. And
a way to get them outside.
Yeah, and
still have like a physical.
It's so weird. It's so weird to look at. It
was very weird.
It was like the Sandman and Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh,
it was like, anytime that you see like a CGI generated person in a movie, but it's like they're trying, but they didn't quite nail it like they wanted to,
Yeah.
That's what it was for me.
It was a little different. I don't know if I was on board with it either.
Like you had said, the fighting scenes, there wasn't enough of them. And I know we don't duplicate or anything like that, but I know you didn't dive into it as much. You just kept saying kung fu, but really, man, there was not there was a lot of shooting,
gun fu,
and then there
really
was
kind of what I would...
one fighting scene, technically two if you count the Doge. One fighting scene that lasted all of 3 minutes tops, and at the end of it, Neo got his ass kicked, and then kind of tickled the other guy's butthole.
He just fucking force pushed him out the.
That's why I said he's tickled his butthole. That's it.
Just different.
The last thing, at the very end of the movie, when Trinity and Neo both confront the analyst, they're wearing their straight up Matrix clothes.
Yeah.
Why the fuck didn't Neo have any of that badassery and just look like John Wick the entirety of the movie? And at one point, he looked like. Bill Murray did a movie about the dude that invented the scuba suit, and I cannot remember.
I just think that for his appearance for the movie, they should have cut his beard a little bit more and his hair a little bit, but had to do the long hair and beard. What are we Googling right now? Life Aquatic. What about?
Sorry, I muted myself.
That's fine, but what is the goal here?
So you see this picture of Bill Murray with the hat on and everything like that?
Yeah, I see it.
So that looked like him, like the first 15, 20 minutes.
When he was wearing the beanie and stuff like that.
He was just wearing the beanie and stuff, walking around.
I mean, that's you got to think of everyday life. He's going to be wearing not what he wears in.
Yeah, but it's so weird.
He's like Neo.
It's so weird to see him without that shit.
Yeah.
When he gets into the Matrix, I expect him to look like Neo. Even when he was in purgatory, in between life and non-existence and reality, he still looked like Neo. In the outfit in the older movies is what I'm referencing.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And then when he was there with Morpheus, and Morpheus had a bachelor pad of nothing,
sexy outfit on.
In his sexy outfit.
Yeah.
But Neo just still dressed normally.
I think it was because like he even said, he never believed he was the one. Trinity always told him, she believed he was, but he never thought he was the one. And plus, I also think, like you said, he was also, like they said, having withdrawals from the blue pill that he was taking for so long, and was at the point of like wanting to take it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I just felt like
So
he had
confusing.
trouble getting back into his, avatar of the one. And
Solid James
it
Cameron
happens by
reference.
the end of the movie,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I feel like it should have happened a lot sooner.
I feel like if it happened,
In the scene where they walk outside the cafe, what's wrong?
I just watched your camera just zip away.
Nice. You just cocked it.
Oh, did I?
My eyeball while you're doing that.
Perfect.
In the scene where they walk outside the cafe, which was called like what was it? Name of the cafe. It was like a play on words, and I can't remember what it was called.
No idea.
Anyways, if you remember, leave it in the comments below because I forgot. And they go outside, and there's all the people. What they call them, bots, but they were like swarms, or I can't remember what their verbiage was for it. Anyways, when I saw all those people, I thought we were gonna get this awesome fight scene of Neo versus like 100 people, and then obviously everybody else joining in too. Not at all what happened. We jump on a motorcycle and we ride away, and he puts up force fields and pushes cars and shit like that. And although that whole scene was very visually cool, wanted more face kicking, And
you didn't get it.
I didn't get it.
You didn't get it at all.
And it was what it was.
Just disheartening.
Are those your dislikes though? You got more? Is that it?
That's it.
All right, I'm gonna.
Really, I only had the one, and then I remembered when you mentioned the kung fu scene. I was like, "Sexy Morpheus,
sexy outfit." What was up with that?
Oh, am I aroused or are we fighting? Like, what's going on here?
Both.
Jackie Chan has taught me one thing, and that's how to fight in the nude.
Yeah.
I swear to God, man. Tell me I'm wrong. Any Jackie Chan movie that I can think of, he's half naked, holding something over him, fighting with one hand, and then switching.
Yeah. I feel like that's just all of the Rush Hour movies, at least.
I mean, the tuxedo too.
At least it happens. Yeah,
remember that?
Too, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go into my likes.
All right.
What I liked about the movie.
Camera on you.
CGI. Obviously, these movies are known for their awesome, like next level CGI. I don't think we got next level CGI like the first one, because when that came out, that was like so far ahead of its time.
Well, they also used like the what was it, 20 or 30 camera method whenever they.
Well, they kept when they were making that movie, they kept redoing parts because technology would advance, and they're like, "Whoa, that's better. Scrap what we got. Bring in that. Let's do that." And then I also heard that Keanu Reeves took a lot of his money and put it into that movie that he was making from the movie to make it better and everything else.
Yeah.
This movie visually very cool, as you would expect, and it was awesome. A lot of the scenes were really good. Like I said, I don't think it's that like next level. Like it's not like what's like a newer movie that's came out that just had like next level like cinematography and stuff, like Avatar.
Spider-Man No Way Home.
No, not really.
I mean, it did.
It wasn't like it like cool things happened, but it didn't have like visually next level shit. Like when Avatar came out, that was like, whoa, we'd never seen something like that with CGI and stuff.
I mean, we really hadn't though. Like
that's what I'm saying. So this wasn't like
has topped Avatar as far as that goes since Avatar.
That's what I'm saying. This wasn't like next level. It was good. It was really good, but it wasn't like,
It could have been better.
Yeah.
But I don't know how.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you on that. But regardless, like I said, it was good though. I did like it. And it was all, like I said, the whole scene at night when they're going through the city on the Ducati and everything else. And there's, I did visually, it was cool because it was like it had like a green tint to everything. Like a lot of the buildings had their lights on, but it was almost like greenish. So it was kind of cool, that green and black kind of vibe. And it did visually brought a lot of nostalgia from the older movies. And it did show like a lot of flashbacks.
Ignore me.
I'm other
fixing your forehead.
Had to take it away or what? Okay. We have to implement my forehead is so big we have to frame it.
So you're
Yeah.
On that other screen,
It's okay.
like, because I'm just, like I said,
It was like all forehead. I get it.
I'm just editing.
I get it.
And so, like, every time you would just kind of go up a little bit. So discreetly, what I would do is I would just click on it and lower it.
Okay.
But then it got to a point where it was just all forehead, and I was like, I should fix this real quick. So sorry.
Anyways, yeah, I visually it's definitely a good movie. Me, speaking about callbacks, I did like that it did have a lot of callbacks. Also, like
It had a couple.
It had a lot actually. Like the first movie had such like good dialogue that was like quotable for years. I mean, still we remember things from that. And this had a lot of dialogue from
Mr.
those movies.
Anderson.
Exactly, like shit like that.
That's
and
the
I
only
did
one.
No, there was a lot.
Give me
The first time he even walks in
on.
Okay, go ahead.
I need 3 memorable quotes.
Oh, I'm not gonna name them.
No. Come on. You said that there's so
many.
many.
No, they were in there and I remember them, but also what was cool about this and what I did like.
What you're telling me is you can't give me 3 memorable quotes from The Matrix.
No, I'm not, because I'm not saying those movies are my favorite and I can quote everything about it. I'm just saying like a lot of people can, but regardless, what I'm saying is they even like why they were doing the quotes, you saw it would like cut to the first movie and then cut back to what's actually happened. It was like him in his mind remembering like, I remember when that happened.
They were doing flashbacks of him like briefly getting his memory back.
Yeah, well, it wasn't him getting it was the memory he's had, but they're conditioning him to think that that's not real.
Yeah. So,
but that's what I'm saying. I did like how it would cut back to a lot of stuff like that. Like
even
when
like
Morpheus,
the theater scene with Morpheus.
That's what I'm saying.
The first time we met.
Yeah, they kind of gave that
pill.
Same nostalgic vibe, and that's what he was kind of reiterating what the original Morpheus said, but also going like etc., blah blah. Like I did like how like that part was the same but different, but just a lot of the things. I did like the callbacks. I did like a lot of the Easter eggs to the past movies and stuff like that. Obviously you're gonna get those in this, but I don't know. I thought they were cool. I did like that they brought back Agent Smith. I didn't mind this new guy as Agent Smith. I actually thought he was kind of cool. And this time it's kind of like, I mean, they even worked together.
I'm going to take the red pill.
Kind of, okay, yeah. You got another one of those red pills?
Nope. Not the purple one. Oh, dude, you don't want it.
I don't want the purple one. That one's
purple
super sour.
One is
super sour.
Sour grape, so it's the worst out of the bunch.
Definitely the worst out of the bunch.
That's literally all that's left in here, too.
I did. Okay, give me the sour one. I still want it. Give me it. Give me it.
Mr. Anderson.
Give me it. I want the purple pill.
Oh, man.
There's you liar. Give me the pink pill. It's good enough.
Sour slamming strawberry.
Oh,
sorry about the Mike and Ike ASMR. My bad.
Oh yeah.
Now it's time for you to remember everything, Garrett. We don't actually do a podcast together.
That's all you got. Okay.
That's all I got. I didn't have anything else.
I did like Smith though. I like this version. Yeah, mine was kind of sour too. I'm doing a really good job of trying to hide it.
He's been here for so long too.
I liked how he was. I don't know. He was the same, but he was different, you know. And he even didn't refer to him as like Mr. Anderson anymore. He literally just referred to him as Tom.
And I like that.
It's like a totally new version of. I mean, it literally is a new version of Smith. But this time around, they had to like literally team up to take down the analysts and stuff like that.
Kind of.
To an extent. So the way I kind of read a bunch of stuff was like they're like a two-sided coin. You know, like they kind of have the same agenda, but from two different perspectives and stuff like that in this specific movie.
I wouldn't even give it that.
And
I would give it almost a yin and yang, because even with the yin and yang, you know, there's a little bit of each other in both of them. So I would give it more or less like that, just because before in the movie, Agent Smith was just like, dude, I want Neo dead. And then he was like, you know what? If I just get him out of the Matrix, I can do my own thing and be my own person. And I don't have to focus on this fuck.
Yeah.
So he was just like, I'm going to help this dude out real quick.
Yeah.
And then call it a day. Get him out of there.
Yeah, exactly.
Boom. Done deal.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Agent Smith, good guy. I like it.
Yeah, this one time I don't know if they're gonna make another one. Get into that. Like
hope
I did
not.
say, I did like the new Morpheus. How he was like the
Sexy
same, but
Morpheus.
sexy. He was the same but different. He was kind of like this, like I said, a mix between Morpheus and Smith.
You want to take this big black suppository pill?
He was sexy. He was sexy Morpheus. That's what we're gonna call him from now on.
My penis.
It was cool. It was different, and it was cool, and I did enjoy it.
Just imagine him.
My mic's going down. My mic's going down.
This thing. Just imagine. Just imagine whenever Neo goes into purgatory, and it just butt ass naked Morpheus is like, "Mr. Anderson, I've been expecting you." Oh, dude, that. Oh, dude, killing it. Here, let's go to a Garrett cam of just a microphone slapping him in the neck.
Understand why it's not staying.
I've had that problem before. There's a pill for that.
Blue.
It's blue. I told you the windowsill was a bad idea for a microphone mount. Although, given our circumstance, I feel like it's the best option still.
Yeah, for a time. Down, son of a bitch. I'm just gonna kind of keep my hand here the whole time.
For
the end of the podcast, it is what it is.
For the next,
I can't do anything about it.
You're gonna try to, man.
Edit this part out.
No, I'm not editing it. This is a nice part. Dude, I literally had to hold my microphone because it kept slapping me in the face. You remember that? Remember that podcast? Yeah, I didn't edit that. You told me to, but I just didn't. So anyways, while you're doing that, we'll come back to your likes. I'll go. I'll take over the spot. We'll pop over to the Tyler.
I really didn't have any other ones.
So a big thing. I know we said that Neil Patrick Harris was in The Matrix as the analyst, but I really liked seeing Neil Patrick Harris just in a movie. The last thing I watched him in, I really want to say, was Lemony Snicket: A Series of Unfortunate Events on Netflix.
I gotta say, this was like the last movie I would have saw him being in as well.
Exactly. That's kind of why I was like so confused, because I was like, I can only see like, you really could only, hold on, just for the people.
Fix my mic.
Did you?
We're good.
Just for the people watching the podcast, I'm gonna zoom in real big. Like you could just see this in the movie for like the first part of them talking, and I was like, that sounds familiar, but I don't know how. And then it's just like, boom, Neil Patrick Harris. And I was like, nice. I love that. It was a close-up of him talking.
Oh, whenever he's in like his sessions.
Yeah, when he was in the session.
Or whatever, yeah.
And so I was like, oh, shit. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, it was whenever, so I liked that he tried to fly. And it was just like one of those scenes at the very end of the movie. They're like, Neo, can you fly? He's like, I don't know, let me try. And he just kind of jumps in the air real slow, and he didn't go anywhere.
I did like that as well.
He's like, I guess I can't.
Yeah, that part was pretty funny.
And another thing, it's gonna sound bad out of context, so I'm going to explain it to you. I like the people suicide bombing off the rooftops.
They weren't real; they were bots, but
they were bots.
Yeah,
but they were people, but they were bots.
Yeah.
So during the epic like chase with the shielding and everything, anyways, so they're trying to get away, and I don't know if it was the analyst that activated all the sleeper agents.
He did, yeah.
But they're driving, their obvious stereotypical bike chase, right?
God.
And it's almost like a zombie apocalypse sort of thing, and there's a horde, and they're just trying to get away from them, right? And it almost kind of reminded me of
except the horde has guns.
Yeah, except the horde has guns. World War Z almost, because like the zombies would just topple out of buildings and stuff like that.
Never actually watched that movie.
That's fair. But they were just falling out of buildings, and they would splatter on the ground, but it wasn't like blood, it was green. Like, because they were bots. I don't know if you caught that or not. And it might have just been the lighting, but all their splatters and stuff was just green. And I was like,
oh, yeah. It was almost like from Tron getting de-rezzed or something.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That. Yeah.
I was like, that's kind of cool, actually.
It's definitely a little bit different.
And then I put that Agent Smith good guy ? I like that. because like he just popped up out of
I
nowhere.
did like that too. It's kind of like
They're
it's
all of the ones are in the room at the same time.
it's a
Just chilling.
funny. It's well, like one of them. The way I kind of saw it in the original trilogy was like one needed the other to win, basically.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
They needed each other, kind of, and that's always kind of that hero villain complex of like, you can't have me without you, and you can't have you without me,
No,
kind of a thing.
it's
And
it's like I wouldn't even categorize it as that, but I would kind of. It reminds me more like not Batman and Robin, but more like a
Batman and
Batman.
Joker.
Not even. I wouldn't even call it as much the Joker, but kinda. Because I wanted to say because like he's a good guy, but I'm like more referring to Jason Todd's kind of Robin because
He kind of had a back and forth.
they had a back and forth sort of thing. Yeah, but I mean the Joker is probably more correct because neither one of them want to kill each other. But they do, but they don't.
I would say, yeah, it's more like them because even like, Batman created Joker.
Yeah.
And, the fact that Neo was a thing is why Smith was created and stuff like that. Not born, created.
They were born in the Matrix. I'm just trying to.
That's how I would categorize it, but I would say Smith was born, but
you said created was the correct term.
No, I said that on purpose just so people won't get mad at me. Because apparently in the Matrix, born and created are two different things.
They're the exact same thing.
What I've been trying to say for weeks now.
What if somebody was born in the Matrix, right? But somebody created somebody else in the Matrix. That makes sense?
Yeah, so like by that.
Yeah, by definition, like.
Neo was born in the Matrix, but Smith was created.
Correct.
I would look at those as the same word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We're on the same page.
We're on the same page. Good. I'm glad you agree with me.
Last thing. I agree with you. Like, I would say 95% of the time because there are some times that we disagree on something, but it's so minor every single time that it's not even worth the fight about. But it's worth mentioning that we are not always on the same page.
No, this is true.
It's like even with me and Richie, never on the same page. Like,
it happens.
It's 5% of the time we're on the same page, and the other 95% we're just fucking not on the same page.
It happens.
Did you watch the end credits scene?
There was.
Oh.
No, I did not.
You did not.
So there was something after the credits?
So there was something after the credits. All right. Hear me out. I'm going to spoil it for you because it's not even worth mentioning. You know that the video game team that was just kind of throwing out ideas for like the next Matrix?
Lost my fucking mic again.
So
annoying.
At the very end of the movie, they were just spitballing stuff out and more ideas and stuff. And I'm assuming this is still happening inside of the Matrix.
Yeah, because this Matrix was still going on.
So they were still alive in the Matrix, and one of the dudes was like, "All right, so hear me out. What we need is a bunch of viral cat videos, and we'll call it the cat tricks." And that was it. End of the movie. That was the final
Matrix,
cut
but with cats.
Yeah, the cat tricks. So I mean,
Don't ever make that, Warner Brothers.
So the next movie to come out is going to be Cats, but in the Matrix.
They already made a Cats movie and it was terrible.
Yeah, I know, but imagine them dodging bullets and fighting people, and then occasionally smoking catnip, and eating tuna out of a saucer.
Hold it. Go back to your camera. No, go to your camera so I can fix this.
Well, I have nothing to talk about now.
You're out of your likes?
Yeah, man.
Tyler, what would you change about this movie?
So much.
Thank you.
Here, we'll go back to both cams.
No, don't get my ass off the camera.
Let's take a quick peek, see how Garrett's doing. It looks like he's doing rough.
Doing bad.
It's off. So, a couple things that I'd like to change about this movie. Simplistically, I didn't like the fact that they spent so much time trying to convince Neo that, this reality is not, you're still in the Matrix and you need to see it for what it really is. It took him so long to be coerced to take the red pill. And I absolutely hated it because he was so aware that this wasn't real. but he was conditioned.
No.
No. You have to hear me out on this. Because he was conditioned to believe that everything that he saw that he thought was the Matrix wasn't actually. Because he's a game developer that created the Matrix, and therefore none of this was real. But what if he actually created the Matrix inside of the Matrix, and then furthermore, yeah, I know. So my whole thing is I just didn't like how long it took him to realize that he was inside of the Matrix. Because the amount of times that he tried to do stuff, like touch the mirror to see if his hand would go through it, or really that's just it. That's the only that's the only thing.
There's a lot of times with his attempted suicide, but shit like that, yeah.
He tried to do like 3 different times jumping off of a building to fly. Most of the times it looked like he jumped, but then he just woke up either in his bed or
they couldn't let him die. Yeah.
At the psychiatrist. So it's just like they weren't letting him die. So they would just jump forward to a point where, they had him there and just faked it all. So I didn't really like that. I know I didn't. So like that would be something I'd change. The amount of time that it took them, the amount of time that it took Neo to actually realize that he was inside of the Matrix.
Yeah.
Something else that I know I keep saying sexy Morpheus.
Sexy Morpheus. There's no other way to define him but sexy Morpheus.
I don't want to change him, but I feel like it was so flamboyantly sexy Morpheus. There's no better description than that, really honestly. But I mean, let's just go all out. Like, honestly, like a Black Elton John sort of thing going on, with the cool in the Matrix glasses. I feel like that'd be. I feel like that'd be good.
I don't think they need all that.
I feel like they should have. Then, like at the end of the movie, have Morpheus do like this epic shootout scene, and you just Rocket Man starts playing.
This is crazy.
I mean, it'd be better than just like,
yeah,
because like all of the sleeper people wake up, and you just have Morpheus outside with 2 like LMGs. Would you rather hear like In the Arms of an Angel, or would you rather hear Rocket Man in slow-mo?
No, I agree with you. That would be funny. Out? Yeah.
I feel like
that would be funny.
They didn't do Morpheus enough justice, and I think they just tried to make him stand out way too much because of the lack of actual being there,
Yes.
No?
Yes, I do agree with you.
What are you doing?
Maybe moving a light. Worry about it.
You can raise the bottom part of that.
All good.
Up.
All Gucci.
Like you can.
All Gucci.
Okay. Garrett, what would you change about the movie besides the robots that look like animals?
What would I change? First of all, I would have taken more time to fix the lighting before we started the podcast, but we were crunched for time once again. More kung fu. Mm-hmm. I wanted more kung fu. These movies are known for their kung fu, gung fu, whatever you want to call it.
I'm glad we're on the same time. Yeah.
I wanted more of that. I wanted a lot more of that. I wanted like mix between the first and second Matrix, like amount of kung fu.
I feel like if they make a second one, then it will have that. But
you mean a 5th one?
Technically a 5th one, but they're resurrecting the movie, so wouldn't it be like Erections 2?
Erections?
Yeah. They're erecting it again.
It's just
the Matrix erection.
This time the blue pill gives you a boner.
This time Morpheus is even sexier than ever.
I just think
it's Terry Crews as Morpheus. He takes the red pill and it's pop power.
Maybe. I wanted a lot more kung fu though, like a lot, and it just didn't provide what I wanted, and that's just me because we all know your boy likes people fighting each other in movies. I like fighting movies, and I expected that from this, and unfortunately, it did not really give it to me. And then also kind of leading into my other thing, I would change a bigger fight between Neo and Smith. I know we've seen huge fights with Neo and Smith multiple times throughout multiple movies. I understand that. But if you're going to bring these 2 characters back and they're going to fight, it better be on
One
par.
hell of a fight.
It better be on par with their last couple fights, and this was not. It was cool. It did have some moments kind of like the original one, kind of like where he had him up at the wall, like in the first movie. But Neo was getting his ass kicked a lot, and
Yeah, because I thought because they're like yin and yang or whatever, that literally everything that they did would be on par with each other. And you kind of saw it a little bit after Neo got his ass kicked. Their fighting was back and forth, and it was like even when they both punched each
Neo's
other.
better than Smith, obviously. He's
Yeah,
beat him
but I mean, it seems
almost
like
every time, but
it seems like their fights always end with. Well, it's kind of like, well, both of them just got their asses fucking kicked.
yeah, it's very.
But it was like awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
But like at the same time, I don't want to see that, but I do.
Yeah, I wanted to see a very. It didn't have to be the biggest fight, but it had to be very climactic in a very short amount of time, and it had to be awesome. And this did not give us that.
Oh.
I feel like this movie was more along the lines, I would say, the first one in the aspect of like making you think about things again, but that's really not what I wanted out of this movie. You know, they could have gave us that dummy, kind of like they joked about, you know, like people just want stupid, they just want guns, violence, shit like that. Whenever they're talking about the games and everything,
And then they were like, "No, we want it to be sophisticated and elegant."
And I think I would have taken just stupid guns, violence, fighting people, honest.
Because
That's
like
just me. That's just me.
you've pointed it out before, like the old Matrix movie. What did you say? I'm paraphrasing what you said. You're like 70% of it was just like awesome gun scenes. And there was like 30 minutes of you just didn't understand what the fuck was happening.
Yeah.
I would have liked that.
There was a lot of that throughout a lot of those.
This movie, it was like about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. You know what? I'll even say, 20 minutes of actual fighting and action. The other 2 hours was like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
And I wasn't a huge fan of that, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm on the same page.
Yeah. It is what it is. I don't know.
Got anything else you want to change?
That's it. Maybe the fact that I had to Google the movie after I watched it to really understand things. But I mean, that's something I came to expect out of this movie before I even saw it. I knew I was going to get confused because the first couple are very confusing as well.
So let me just ask you this real quick.
Uh-huh.
How many movies out of the 39 that we've done this year have you had to actually Google the plot for? You know what? And to help you out,
honestly, I can probably answer this pretty quick. 2001: A Space Odyssey. Had no idea, and I feel like that's everybody ever didn't really understand that movie the first time they watched it. Not Split.
You definitely Googled it though. You told me. I have it on video.
Maybe
I have a recording of it actually.
Tenet had to Google. Yeah, that one was very confusing as well. Besides that, I don't really think there was really Army of the Dead. Maybe I Googled for the whole like paradox of repeating timeline or whatever, but pretty much
Reminiscence. I feel like you did, but I can't be 100% on that one.
Maybe I did. I feel like that's it though.
Yeah.
So not too many, but I mean, it does happen. I'm not the smartest person in the world. I can definitely.
Well, I know you like to look at the theories and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
I do
really
like to
get into it.
Look at other people's kind of outlooks on stuff a lot.
It's like you just want a different perspective, and since we can't talk about it until we do this, it gets so fucking annoying. Because
honestly, I do think that's 90% of why I do it. I have to like learn what somebody else's outlook on it. Yeah, because I can't talk to you about it until we sit down here.
Because the only thing that we can actually talk about is like TV shows or things like that. Because we don't do.
Yeah. It's honestly,
it's just work and maybe like the new TV shows that are coming out. Speaking of which, have you started The Witcher yet?
Not yet, but I did finish Hawkeye.
Was that the last season or that last episode?
Yeah. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. Just hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
Let's finish this really quick, and then we can.
What's that? What are we doing now? Beard rating?
Yeah. Let's just go to beard rating because I don't really have anything else that I had about this movie.
What would you rate this movie?
3 Keanu Reeves beards. I'm just gonna quick fire that one, and I'm gonna tell you why. I think if I watch this movie again, would I appreciate it more? Maybe I would. Maybe I would appreciate it more.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I would be less confused. Maybe I would understand a lot more. Because like I said, in the original trilogy, it was kind of one of those things where you have to watch it more than once to really understand everything. And it's one of those movies that I feel like over time gets more appreciated. Maybe this movie is like that as well. But due to the fact that by the end of the movie, I was still trying to grasp why this movie was made, other than maybe like an easy cash grab from Warner Brothers. Like they literally say in the movie, which I did think it was funny. They poked fun at that. I just was kind of like, was it good? Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I'd say it's better than half. Was it bad? It did have its moments that I was really, really let down. Did I understand it? Not entirely. Do I really see the purpose in it? Not really. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. They kind of ended the story, the trilogy,
Okay, but in fairness, the trilogy was like left in a cliffhanger. Did they both die?
Yes.
Yeah.
They did. Yeah. No, that wasn't a cliffhanger. You knew for a fact they died.
Yeah, but then they got brought back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This really, I don't think it was needed.
That's why it was called the Resurrection.
Yeah, I get why.
In the next Matrix movie, Matrix Erection, he deals with
Viagra.
Middle age. What's it called? I feel like it's called middle age.
Middle age? Oh, erectile dysfunction.
Yeah, that's it. He deals with erectile
men
dysfunction.
Fighting erectile dysfunction. He's just running around with the boner the whole time, and they're like, "We want that."
You know how Agent Smith can do that thing where you just see him trying to beat his dick, and you just see like 8 different hands all at once. I'm trying and nothing's working.
Stupid. I want his dick powers.
He's like, I need to go talk to Morpheus. Do you want the blue pill or the purple pill? Both will give you an erection lasting longer than 4 hours.
Any longer than that, please alert your doctor.
No.
What's your beard rating on this?
No, if you have an erection lasting longer than 4 hours, you call more women.
Okay, maybe. Also feel like something's wrong with you at that point. It reminds me of 40-year-old virgin when he calls him and he's like, "Did you take the Viagra?" And he's like, "No, I just have an erection that's lasted longer than 4 hours." He's like, "I don't know. Maybe try to jerk off." Stupid.
Like you said, I'm just gonna right down the middle.
Yeah.
Not a 2.5. I'll give it a 3. Keanu Reeves beards.
That's kind of where I was at.
It's not a bad movie. It's not a great movie. It's not my favorite Matrix movie.
Definitely not.
Reloaded. My favorite one.
OG for me.
Yeah. So Reloaded was honestly
Reloaded was pretty good, but I did like the
pretty dope.
I think the original one
You're not
was
wrong,
really 10 out of 10 for me.
It took a little bit. So I always because Reloaded just jumps right into it. So that's why. That's the only reason why actually. But yeah, 3 just across the board for me. Nothing else. That's it.
Yeah. I'm kind of right there with you, man.
Yeah.
Good, not great, Yeah. Kind of right there in the middle.
All right. I'm going to Tyler Cam. Garrett, is there anything you want to say? And I'm off Tyler Cam. We're wrapping this up.
Wrapping this up.
This is the last season. Oh, sorry. This is
what the fuck is happening next?
Surprise, Garrett. We're moving on to vlogging outside. No, this is the last episode of this season. We're coming back next year with season 2.
Oh, you're really gonna season 2 it?
Yeah, absolutely. Every year, man. Season 2. Season 2.
Yeah, season 2. A way to wrap up the year. We successful year. We've done really well for ourselves. We have. We've had a lot better than we expected this year. As far as the podcast goes, yeah.
Well, before we actually wrap it up, let's just go over a couple of things. So, we've hit our ups thanks to Space Jam.
Fucking Space Jam, man.
And then,
even on YouTube, like the
Evil Dead in
Evil
India.
Dead,
in India, have you seen?
Oh, it's really just in India.
I love this so much. So for the people listening to us right now, It
Can they
is
see what you're doing?
no.
Okay, probably for the best.
If you look at just our analytics for some of the episodes that we've done on YouTube, man, it is hilarious because like our reach, you can be like, oh, not a lot of people watch this. And then you
Yeah.
look up the subcontext of what people search for that recommended our shows. It's
Mhm.
like how to download and torrent The Evil Dead 2. Watch The Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead. Evil Dead 2. And
That's why we got so far up on the list.
so I have no idea why. Well, so it's not like what they're searching, it's what the searches recommend,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
people will look up on YouTube how to,
yeah.
download illegally a movie in India because
Yeah.
they can't get that movie here.
Okay.
And then, like, right over on that right hand column, it just recommends watch us instead. About the same runtime. So, I mean, maybe.
It's yeah, we that definitely was a success as far as like
mean,
things we've uploaded to YouTube so far.
We've had a lot of success, especially.
I think with a lot of our
I mean,
like I said,
if
over this last year without putting numbers out there for everybody to hear.
I can put out a good
we've
number
done,
for you.
No, it's fine. We don't have to.
No, seriously.
Okay.
In the last 3 or 4 months that we have uploaded content to YouTube, we have reached about 12,500 people.
That's nice. Yeah.
That's good.
That is good. Yeah.
Now, those people that are listening to this podcast on YouTube and unsubscribed,
Do us that favor.
go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you've listened this far, you should. And if you're just listening to the podcast on your way to work, on your way home, you're bored at work, first of all, be productive at your job. Come on. But yeah, I mean, follow us. Even if you don't listen to every episode, it still lets us know that you're interested.
Yeah. If you do want to listen to every episode, hit that bell notification, get those push notifications whenever we put out a new episode. Like the video, that always helps us out a bunch.
All of that.
Really this year, appreciate everybody that's been listening to our podcast. This was something me and Tyler started that we really didn't know how it was going to go, and surprisingly enough, it's gone pretty well. And as long as people are listening, we're going to keep doing it. So yeah, I'm very happy with where we're at with it, and I'm excited for things to come. I think in the future we may try to change some stuff up a little bit. We've talked about doing something a little bit different. I'm not gonna say it on the podcast, but
it's a spoiler. We can't tell you legally. Our attorneys have told us not to.
But regardless,
just for the sake of it.
Tell you. In order to provide more content, we've talked about doing things a little bit different. But yeah, we'll definitely excited for things to come. Keep your eye out for us.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna wrap up 2021 season.
Real quick, Garrett's pick on a TV show. Go watch Hawkeye. If you haven't watched Hawkeye yet, go watch Hawkeye on Disney Plus.
You're gonna be a little
phenomenal show. You will not be disappointed.
Yeah, because it's not enough Hawkeye. It's like,
well, it's more Kate.
Yeah,
Kate's Hawkeye.
Yeah,
they're both Hawkeye.
Yeah, but Hawkeye is Hawkeye.
Okay, but Hawkeye sooner or later is Jeremy Renner's probably going to retire the character, so then it leads into the new character Kate
until they replace her, and then
I don't think they replace her, but regardless, yeah, phenomenal show, dude. Absolutely fucking loved it. The last episode was
Ant-Man's daughter. Remember that?
Oh yeah, but that's that's for the next movie.
Anyways,
regardless.
So, with that being said,
season
1 wrapped up. Thoughts, comments, concerns, Garrett?
I just told you it's been a good year.
It's been a great year.
It's been for us like in reality, it's been like this. But as far as the podcast goes, it's been good.
Dude, it's been all over the place.
I was gonna say this year.
So I mean,
for us outside the podcast has been a little rocky, but
it has been.
Yeah.
Just I'm gonna apologize for the Thanksgiving to like mid-December of not putting up content.
That's once again.
It's holidays are a little bit rough as far as scheduling goes. Like Garrett has to drive like six hours to come up here so we can do the podcast. So
it's not true at all.
No, it's like 30 minutes, but still, we have to make it work so perfectly, and sometimes our schedules are a little off. But hopefully, we'll be able to do episodes every week, if not more. But
yeah, Yes.
Like I said, the once a week thing is kind of what we're aiming for.
Working for us right now.
As far as you seeing this guy right here, I wonder if I can get, and then seeing me, and then seeing both of us in the same. Yeah. Anyways, good stuff coming your way later on. So, with that being said, I'm Tyler.
And I'm Garrett.
Peace out, Girl Scouts. We'll see you next year in season 2.